Jaguar Wright has just set the internet on fire by sharing some seriously troubling stuff about how the industry is trying to silence her. Apparently, she's been laying low for a while now, fearing for her life. It's no secret that the industry doesn't take kindly to people spilling the beans about what really goes down behind the scenes. And that's exactly what Jaguar has been doing for years, calling out everyone from Diddy to Jay-Z to Beyonce. It's pretty obvious they're not her biggest fans. None of them have even bothered to sue her for defamation, probably because their plan is to get rid of her before she can spill any more tea about them. The wild part about all this is that Jaguar isn't the only one in the industry who speaks out, and they've tried to silence them all. Jaguar recently spilled the beans about some heavy hitters in Hollywood that Katt Williams had called out before. She said these powerful folks paid hitmen to come after Katt at his home. Jaguar vividly remembered when armed men busted into Katt's place while he was sleeping, trying to take him out. It's still unclear how Katt managed to escape that nightmare, but Jaguar said he was so freaked out and traumatized that he started wearing a bulletproof vest to bed every night. Can you even imagine being so scared you have to wear armor to sleep? That's next level crazy. Besides constantly watching his back, that's gotta mess with his head big time.
And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house. And I left. You know, back in that moment, Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed. To bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on.
What?
In bed.
When all this was going down, Katt was in the middle of a beef with Comedy Central. They were pushing him to do some shady stuff on camera, but he wasn't having it. So they figured they'd take him out instead.
What was it about that and him at the moment where it made you want to speak your truth?
He went after Comedy Central. That's what happened. The Flavor Flav roast. The moment that I knew the Snoop Dogg is sold out. That was a hurtful moment. They wanted Katt to humiliate Flav. Like humiliate him. Like no holds barred. And they sent a bunch of jokes. And I'll never forget watching Katt in the office downstairs at the house in Marina Del Rey. And he's sitting there looking at the script and just shaking his head. And then the next thing you know, the phone rang and I'm standing there in the office in the doorway and I'm like, are you all right? And he picked up the phone and it was from Comedy Central. And I listened to him threaten to kill him. He said, I'm not doing this. You are not going to get a black man, a real black man, to agree to do this to another black man. $. It was a terrible day. And then that's when all the incidents started happening. Them sending people to the house. Them putting plants backstage at the shows. I mean, I was on tour with him for American Hustle.
Right.
I was on set for First Sunday.
Right. He said he got arrested over 30 times.
Yeah.
No convictions.
I'm getting close.
Go ahead. Go.
But it's been about 30 for him. It's been 8 for me.
Yes.
He beat felony. I beat felony. You know, it was just terrible. And when I would think back to that moment, and then they called him the day before filming and asked him was he going to be there, and he said no. And then the next thing you know, production went on later on that day, and Snoop was already ready. And Snoop did everything that Comedy Central asked. That Flavor Flav roast was Katt's. That was his moment. The Flavor Flav roast and the death of Malik B are the same.
Jaguar revealed that she and Katt have been tight for a good while, and it's actually Katt who gave her the courage to speak up about what she's seen in Hollywood.
When he walked into the club, and I was sitting at my table, it was my birthday party, and Special Ed brought him.
Shout out Special.
And Katt was playing the amphitheater, and he wanted to meet me. And he came to my party, gave me about 20 grand in cash and said, consider it a down payment on your time. And he taught me so much in 9 months. Walking away was hard, but it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him.
Looks like Katt isn't the only one whose life has been in danger. According to Jaguar, they've been coming after her too. As many of you already know, Jaguar has been on a mission to expose the truth for years now, and she's definitely made a lot of enemies along the way. In fact, a few years before Cassie exposed Diddy, Jaguar went on one of her famous IG rants and spilled the beans about a lawyer who used to work for Diddy. This lawyer allegedly told Jaguar about the time they walked in on Christopher Williams performing oral sex on Diddy in the office. Jaguar claims that Diddy knew Christopher was straight, but still forced him into it in exchange for a record deal. She was one of the first to call out Diddy for using his power to manipulate young men into doing things they didn't want to do.
Christopher Williams, I don't know, I guess he wanted to sign. I don't know what happened. But Puff was supposed to be giving him a demo deal, and he gave him a demo deal, and I guess it was supposed to turn into an album deal, which that never happened. But this young woman walked in to get approval on some paperwork, see. And when she walked in, the door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. And when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio on Puff. Now, from what she said to me, it was disturbing because, you know, they didn't stop. She just walked out, and she just kept her head down at the office the rest of the day, I believe it was. And I don't think it was at the end of business day that day, but I think it was the following day. He came into her office and was like, yeah, so you came in there, so what? What you gonna do? You wanna say something? And she was like, oh no, she was like, I just don't understand why you left the door unlocked. If you were in there doing that, why would you leave the door unlocked? He said, I'll do whatever the I want to do in my building. And she's, I just don't know. He was like, it's power, see? I can make a man, he said, if I can make a man suck my I can make people do anything.
But it wasn't just Diddy that Jaguar came for, because she also accused Jay-Z of hooking up with Foxy Brown when she was just 15 years old and infecting her with an STD. It's been rumored for years now that Jay started hooking up with Foxy when she was still a teenager. Apparently, he forced her into this relationship, exchanged for a record contract, and allegedly dumped her for Beyoncé, who was also just 18. When she and him started dating, while Jaguar was revealing all of this, a lot of people were scared for her because they thought she was going to be slapped with a lawsuit if she kept running her mouth and telling the world everything that they've been doing. But it looks like the industry had other plans for her. Instead of throwing a lawsuit at her word on the street, they've been trying to get her eliminated. It's still very unclear who exactly is coming for Jaguar, since she's revealed some very nasty things about a lot of people over the years. But one thing's for sure, her life is definitely in danger, and she's literally begging for protection. Even though she's bold and outspoken, she will not be able to hide from these industry people much longer, unless somebody with power steps in to help her. These rumors got fueled when the popular TikToker Kyle Marissa, who was also exposing Diddy and Jay-Z, was found dead days later after spilling major were about the industry. Not too long before she was brutally unalived, Kyle actually made an entire video breaking down the details of Diddy's lawsuit, and she did not hold back. Her videos were getting millions of views, and it looks like the elites did not like this at all, because right after posting them, she mysteriously died.
Associated with Mr. Freakoff, but he did not listen. Some of the men who claim to have stories about his private life have given him the name General High Booty. So Mr. Freakoff is Diddy, General High Booty is TD Jakes. I'm sure you can do the math on how that got there, that nickname. Sorry guys, I'm flustered right now. This is huge. Young Miami, the girlfriend of the wannabe rapper who was also named in a very recent lawsuit, has started selling off all of her possessions online. This is from March 4th. It sounds like the wannabe rapper cut her off financially. So Diddy cuts his girlfriend Young Miami off on March 4th. You are like almost exactly 20 days later. That's him. Like I said, he was offloading all of his assets into offshore bank accounts, and with his mommy and with his kids, he didn't have any more cash in his bank accounts for Young Miami to get.
Apart from Diddy, Jaguar also created videos to expose other celebrities such as Jennifer Lopez, the Kardashians, and even the royal family. She also hinted that Jay-Z was next in line to be exposed and suggested that his connections run even deeper than those of Diddy.
Hey J-Lo, you got anything to say yet?
The permanent A-list rapper thought there would be a fair chance he would be in jail by the time Labor Day rolled around, so canceled his festival. Why does Jay-Z allegedly think that there is a fair chance he will be in jail by the time Labor Day has rolled around? We will find out soon, because we are doing the Jay-Z Platinum Deep Dive next on the Patreon, and now, woo! But anyway, that's the latest. But also, and I cannot stress this enough, Beyonce is not her husband, and she was also allegedly heavily by Jay-Z.
What's even more shocking is that before Kyle's death, Jennifer Lopez took extreme measures to have Kyle's account banned because Kyle was revealing too much. Keep in mind, Kyle was dealing with some health issues and was using the money from TikTok to fund her treatments. However, once her account was banned, all the income she was relying on from her videos dried up.
By the loss of her account, it has. Estimating that, quote, J-Lo is costing more than 4 figures of income just for March 2024, unquote, which affects her ability to access necessary medical care. Yeah, I can't get a colonoscopy anytime soon. Can't afford it. And you guys already know I'm overdue, and I missed colon cancer awareness.
They went to great lengths to silence Kyle, and when that failed, they ultimately decided to end her life. If this is what they did to Kyle, one can only imagine what they might do to Jaguar once they catch up to her. She's been on their radar for years, and it's one of the reasons why Hollywood is in such disarray right now. Jaguar desperately needs protection before something terrible happens. People have their own opinions about this, with some saying, she's been talking for years and they want to do something now that the cat is out of the bag already. Another person said, I believe Jaguar. I've been believing her and I don't care what anybody says. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think Jaguar is right to ask for protection? And do you believe they're trying to silence her? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out this other juicy video by clicking here.